recording. Okay. So, as I was saying, we are gonna work on APIs for this coding challenge. As in with previous coding challenges, it's gonna be language agnostic. You should be able to build this out with any language you want. You want to try out Rust, you want to do Go, you want to do JavaScript, you want to do Java, C++, Python, whatever you want. It's completely doable. There's no reason for you to hesitate to be able to do this coding challenge, to do this with whatever project you want. Okay. Um, Basic ground rules. You're gonna have to go create a Twilio account. I recommend you make sure that whatever phones you're gonna be sending the text message to, you have access to it so that you can verify it on your Twilio account. If you want to be able to send it to any phone you want, you can use Twilio for that as well, but you're gonna have to pay for that out of pocket. When you create a Twilio account, you get $15 credits for free, and I've sent out I think 40 text messages with it, and I still have $11. So they only cost you a few cents every time you send it. So you'll be able to use this plenty before you run out of cash. So when you create your Twilio account, you need to get your SID and your auth token. Now, something I didn't mention before, I'm gonna make sure I mention this time, is all our coding projects. I always ask you guys to create, to have them in the group GitHub, right? So that if any of you need help, it's there and accessible for us to help you. Here's the thing. This is going to be the first project, the first challenge we have, where we have server information that I'm not going to be controlling. So, you guys need to be very careful with this, because if you put out publicly your Twilio SID and your auth token, it can be stripped by a bot who will then go and send off text messages with your account and maybe have it charged to you. So, you're going to need to make sure you create a .env file, have that information saved in the env file, and that .env file does not get pushed up to GitHub. If you don't know how to do that, before you push this project up, reach out. Do some Googling. There's 1,000 different YouTube videos out there that will tell you exactly what you need to do. Okay? Any questions about that part? You guys need to learn how to do this. This is going to become important, because even if you do push it out to GitHub and you're like, oh, I did it by accident, and then you go back and remove it and think you're good, GitHub keeps history of everything you've done. So anybody can go through your old commit histories and find it. That means you have to go and delete all your old commit histories. But even then, bots are going through GitHub constantly all the time. It could have been there for only 5 seconds, and 10 bots could have picked it up. And even though you removed it and you did everything right now, they still have access to your account. So that means you're gonna have to go in, change your SID token, change your auth token, and do everything and invalidate the old ones. It becomes a nightmare, and it's better for you to go through the hassle of learning how to do that now than when you're working at Verizon and you did it, and then you cost the company millions of dollars and probably your job. We good there? All right, cool. Tier 1.
Yeah.
All you have to do for Tier 1 is have a fixed message. It can be my first text message. I don't care what you guys call it. Sent from your computer to your phone. That's it. You're going to call the API. You're going to pass in the auth token. You're going to pass a text message, whatever you want it to pass. Click run. 5 seconds later, you should be getting a text message on your phone. That's Tier 1, right? I'm going to show you guys where to go to create the account. I'm going to show you guys the basic code structure of how to send the API message. And I'm going to show you guys where to go to for the Twilio docs. Tier 1 stuff is, I usually try to make it as easy as possible for anybody who's, even if you're not familiar with programming, you should still be able to figure it out. Okay? Tier 2. This is usually where I won't answer any questions if you guys ask me, because you guys got to figure this out on your own. You're going to add a tiny UI, web desktop form, however you want to do it. You can create a little website. You can do a little desktop form with C#, however you want to do it. Where you type a message and send it to yourself. In other words, you're going to have a form. You're going to be able to type in any custom message you want, click on a button, and that button's going to call the API and send the information to your phone. Okay? So you're going to need to have input validation. You're going to need to have a basic UI UX. And you're going to want to have separating clients from secrets. Okay? And again, if you don't know what that means, when you're working on the medium level, that means you should be doing Googling, you should be looking up YouTube videos, and you should be asking for help from anybody other than me. Tier 3, I am asking y'all to actually make a mobile app, because who sends text messages from their phone? Nobody. So instead of just having an app, you're going to have to make a mobile app and have a local pass-through API. All right? So this API doesn't need to be running somewhere. Then you can have it running on your computer. But your mobile app is you're going to be able to write the message in your phone, click send. It's going to make a call to your API that you have running on your computer, send it to Twilio, you'll receive the text message back. Okay? So you're going to have to figure out what a local pass-through API is. You're going to have to figure out how to get an app on your phone. And I can tell you this right now, there's about, I want to say 10 people in the club that should know how to do that right now, because we're working on the React Native Roku app that I've helped personally set up. So there's folks you can reach out to, ask for help for that. And the final version will be a full working mobile app with a pass-through API that's being hosted somewhere. So either through AWS or wherever you want to put it. Any free hosting sites out there that you can use. It should have a minimal auth layer. In other words, this is not just a pass-through API you're calling. This is going to be an API wrapper that is going to have its own authentication, and then that API is going to have the authentication needed to send to Twilio. So you're basically going to have to create your own API that wraps around Twilio, and that API calls the Twilio API. All right. Any questions about the challenge? And remember, you don't have to go all the way through the league. You can just try to get as far as you can. And we usually give about a month. I'll probably end up giving about a month for this one as well. So you guys can work towards it as much as you want. If you get stuck on medium and you can't get past it, that's okay. These challenges aren't meant to be done all the way through. I've only had 2 people actually finish all the challenges all the way through. No questions? Tony's typing. You're taking too long, Tony. We're moving on. No, type. I was joking. All right. If we don't have any questions about the specific challenge, I want to show you guys some code first. Okay. So, I'm doing something called 100 Days of Python Bootcamp. I had to send some Twilio text messages with one of the challenges I built for that project. In this case, it was, I'm trying to remember what it was for. Oh, this was for a weather app to know if it was raining outside. Basically, I would call this API, Open Weather API, pass in my zip code, get my longitude and my latitude, find out what the weather condition is, and if it was raining, it would send my wife a text message saying, take the umbrella, it's gonna rain. It was that simple. Um, this is all you really need in Python to send the Twilio text message. I'm not going to be sending you the code, but the structure is this simple. I created a method called the send SMS. I set up my account ID. This is my Twilio account ID, which I will show you how to get that. I set up my auth token, right? I created my client where I passed the SID and the auth token. This is based on the way Twilio's app works. And then I collect the message when I call the client. And I go client.message.create. I pass in the body of the message. Hey babe, if you're gonna go out, take the umbrella. That's what the text message said. For my Twilio number to her phone number. That's it. That's all you need to do. And the message will get sent. Okay? Now, OS Environ, blah, blah, blah. If you don't know what that is, this is how you pull in your secured account information from your .env file. This right here is a .env file. This is where I actually saved, and you can already see, no, this isn't my account ID. I changed it before this meeting. But this is where I would save my API key, my account SID key, my Twilio auth token, my phone number, my wife's phone number. In this case, this is not my personal phone number that goes here. This would be my Twilio phone number, which I'll show you how to get that. The way we protect that, you see how this main.py is in white and this is grayed out? The reason that's like that is I have a .getignore file. This file, whatever folders or files I specify in here, will not get pushed up to GitHub. So that means you're going to need a .env file. If you're working on, well, even if you're not working on Python, whatever language we're working in, you're going to need a .env file, and you're going to need a getignore file. A .getignore file. And this is how you're going to protect your data from, sensitive data from getting pushed up to your repo. Any questions on that?
Nope.
All right. If you're good with that, I'm gonna go show you guys how to get the Twilio API docs. I'll show you some basic stuff on there, and then you're off to the races. All right. So it's called Twilio, Twilio, 1L, Lio. Docs. Okay, so if you type in Twilio Docs into Google, you're going to get this right here, Twilio Docs API Reference Tutorials. Now you can sign up, create your account. It'll be a free account. You'll have $15 worth of credits. That'll allow you to send lots of text messages, but don't overdo it, because if you end up spending 200 text messages just testing things out, you're going to eat up through all your credits. Don't send a text message unless you're testing something very specific you want to verify. Okay? So the documentation we're going to need is the messaging APIs. Oh, by the way, before I go in there, you can see it does a bunch of stuff. It has voice API, phone numbers, Elastic SIP trunking, Twilio Flex. It does videos, SendGrid email API. So there's a bunch of stuff you can do on here. But the one we care about is the messaging API. And the one we want is the SMS, MMS one in particular. But if you want to do it for WhatsApp or RCS or whatever else you want, the options are there. So we're going to click here, send our first SMS using code. We're going to click there. And right here, it has a quick start guide for us. Getting started, you can see right here on the left. Quick start guide, SMS no code quick start, messaging onboarding, a whole bunch of information. API reference documentation is all in here as well. So if you want to go deeper into it and try to build some more stuff, you have all the documentation you can want to actually get that done. Okay. They have very good documentation. Let me zoom in a bit. If you can read through the quick start guide, what's programmable, no programming guidelines, blah blah blah. And right here, they have set up instructions in different languages for you. And this is literally how I built mine. I went through this. I said, okay, I'm doing Python, so I did a pip install flask Twilio. If you're going to do it in React or in JavaScript, npm install Twilio, PHP, C#. You download it from here. That's C#.NET framework, and they have C# core too. So Java, Go, and Ruby. It's all there. But even if you're gonna do it in Python and C++ or something else, I don't know if they have the package ready for you. You would have to do some Googling on your own to figure out how you're gonna do it. Okay? And then over here, it literally walks you through the steps, what you need to be able to call the Twilio API to be able to send text messages, what you need to import, what environmental variables you need. If this should look familiar to you, because it's literally what I had on mine. Okay? And send the message. It's that simple. And for version 1 and 2, this is all you really need to do for tier 1 and 2. Any questions on that? Papa, I'm in a meeting. Please leave. I can't do anything about it right now. I'm in a meeting. Okay, I'll talk to Bastian. Sorry about that. Any questions on Twilio? Any concerns that you won't be able to do the project? Who's excited about doing it? Natalia. I know you're excited.
I'm excited.
I am too.
All right, Steven, you don't count. You get excited over everything.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think it might be my ADHD or something.
All right. If you're all good, all right, you'll be able to have this done by tomorrow. Then it's not hard. At least tier 1. No, not so excited anymore.
Maybe in 2 weeks.
Maybe in 2 weeks.
Catch me again in 4 and we'll see where I'm at.
Like they literally give you the code right there. You can't make it any easier. That's the easy level right there. I'm done, guys. So this is on you. Questions, concerns?